Recording's on. Okay, so this is a super laid back phone call. Like we all have PJs on, waist down. You just can't tell.
I think when I ran, I was like thinking, oh, yep, they can see my pajama bottoms.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so the purpose of this call is really a coach, not even an orientation, because some of you guys are not coaches yet. Some of you are brand new coaches. Some of you just started training. Some of you are trying to decide if training is going to be for you. So the purpose of what we want to do, it's myself and Alicia and Juliet, we'll introduce ourselves in 1 second, is really just to give you an understanding of what it means to be a coach. How do you stay active? How do you find people? What are the vital behaviors of a coach? So that you have a little bit of a something extra to grasp onto, to talk to the person who invited you to this call and get started on some training if that's the direction that you want to go. I think I speak for Alicia and Juliet. Like, we're never going to beg people to be coaches. We think this is the most awesome job ever. But each person that decides they want to be a coach has to get to that point on their own, because it's not an easy job. Right? It's a job that's super rewarding, but it takes a lot of hustle, and you've got to have that desire on your own in order to make it fun, right? So I'm going to let Alicia and Juliet introduce themselves while I'm pulling up the PowerPoint.
Okay, I'll get started. My name's Alicia. This is my bedroom. So welcome to my bedroom, everybody. I don't even know most of you. This is how intimate we are as a team. So I have been a coach for, August was 2 years. This was always a side hobby of mine. I actually worked with Shayla for many, many years, full-time, crazy commute, demanding job. And as a family, we just decided to make a change. And this past summer, I left working full-time and really picked up coaching as my full-time job. Parenting is still what I do most of. I consider myself a stay-at-home mom, but what's great, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, is that, a good amount of my free time is spent doing this, which has brought a lot of personal satisfaction and then a stream of income that we didn't necessarily expect, and we're excited to see where it goes from. So super excited about the year ahead. Again, I also speak for Tracy and Juliet. I know about the momentum that our team has right now. And so the great news is that while you're deciding if this is the right time or opportunity for you, or if you've already said, yes, this is something I want to do, the three of us, as well as everyone on our team, will be nothing but honest with you and work at your speed, because all of us started at different times and all of us started for different reasons. And I think the reason we're here today is because we were allowed to go at our own pace. So super excited to meet all of you guys tonight.
And hi, I am Juliet Hahn, and I've been doing this since September 2015. And I, again, as the women said, this is super rewarding. I am a stay-at-home mom. I do a lot of volunteer work, so I do a lot of boxer rescue and do a lot of stuff with my kids. This kind of fell into my lap because I started as a challenger, and I just loved it. And it became so rewarding that I was like, you know what? I just want to keep doing this. And so that's really how I got started. And the team is just a really fun team. It's great community. We have great energy. It's like you've known each other forever. And so it's I can't say enough about it. You make it what you want to make it. And we're here to kind of follow and help and push you along, or, help you in any way you need.
Awesome. And I'm Tracy. So I am 4.5 years into it. And I used to work at the same company as Alicia for 12 years. And one of the things that led me to this, I was also a challenger. I lost 35 pounds. Everybody kept asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? I kept referring people to my coach. And it was really my husband who was like, why don't you check this out and see what it's all about? Because I did miss using my business mind. And when I really started to dig into what this is a business. You are running a business. You are growing a team of people. And the really cool thing is that if you do it correctly, you are attracting people that you would want to hang out with. And that's what we teach you, is how to market and find those people. And it's really awesome. We're going to get into it. But if you're considering being a coach, whether you join this team or not, you want to join a team where there's people growing the business. because of the way that we're set up. The more we all grow, the more we all make. So there is a way that our success depends on each other's successes, which is unlike other MLMs that are out there, which I think really makes us special. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But Juliet's going to kick us off with the coach membership overview.
I do want to say I did work before. I was in the corporate world, but in advertising. So I didn't do what they did. I didn't just stay home.
Oh, we don't want to make you feel left out.
I was like, wait, I did it too.
You didn't have to be in staffing to do well here. Yeah.
Right. And my sister was in staffing. My sister worked for that same company, which is kind of crazy. Okay. So what another thing is, as Tracy touched a little bit on, that's different than other MLMs. A coach, when you become a coach, there's no contract. There's no quota. You don't have to get all this product and have it like stashed in your closets because you need to like sell it. There's none of that. There's no cancellation fees. So say you're in this for 2 months and you're like, you know what? This was fun, not for me. You cancel, you do not get a charge, which is really great. So the way you start your business is you buy a challenge pack. The challenge pack is, the workouts and some sort of HD product, which we will talk a little bit further about, but that gets you a coach membership. And then you're getting your monthly, a monthly charge of $15, okay? So when you get the $15, anything that you had on HD, so if you're doing Shakeology, if you're doing Daily Sunshine, you're doing the bars, you're doing Performance Line, you're getting 25% off of that. So you're saving money becoming either a selling coach or a discount coach. So you want to make sure when it says you're on home direct for Shakeology, that is really any of them. As I said, it's either the bars, beach bars, or Daily Sunshine. You want to be getting something sent to your home monthly, and that just keeps you active and it keeps you going. Okay, so I'm not going to go into like the details of the PV. It's called personal volume. It's more of an in-depth, conversation later. But again, as I was saying, you're going to have something that's on HD. So when you are on a team, as we are, you want to be maintaining a certain PV because you're helping your coach. So the coach above you, the coach to the next to you, the coach to the side of you. When you're maintaining your PV, it keeps everyone going basically. And personal volume, as I said, again, we'll get into that a little bit later, but that is what you get when you get a product on HD. Again, like the Shakeology, it's when something is brought to your house every month. Along with, so I don't know if I touched on that before, but when you get the on-demand, that's the workouts. So if you don't know the lingo, the on-demand is where it's like a Netflix of workout programs. So that's where you access your digital programs. Is there anything else, Tracy, that you wanted to add in there?
No, I was just going to say, we're going to get into this about what a coach does. Like, you just want to be a product of the product. And that's why we say that many of us started off as challengers. We picked a Beachbody program to do. Our coaches most likely gave us a recommendation based on what our goals are, just like we do for our current challengers. And we either drink Shakeology, or we drink the Performance Line, or we drink Daily Sunshine, or if you're like my house, you drink everything because there's 4 kids and everyone drinks a little bit of something. And so then you also plug them into a challenge group. So we truly believe that it's 3 things that make people successful: is using the product, is exercising, having some sort of a nutrition program, and then being in an accountability group or some place where they can be encouraged to keep going. When you are talking to potential customers, you do get online stores. So I know like Scott just set up his Beachbody, Shakeology page, or your, where you can send customers to go browse. But because it's a relationship business, very rarely will you hear any of us on our team just sending a link out to our store, because we don't want people to go and figure it out on their own. It's super overwhelming. There's so many options. I mean, some of our 6-month baby coaches are still like, I don't even know what half these products are quite yet. And that's okay. And you don't have to use every single product, but you do have a place where you can send people to, or if somebody hears that you're a coach and they just go to your store and they buy something, this enables you to be able to get credit for it. But Alicia's going to talk in a little bit about how we customize our carts for our challengers. We don't ever just send blanket links. It's not a numbers game in terms of just like spamming people with links. We always have conversations, talk about what your goals are. Is it flexibility? Is it weight training? Is it weight loss? Do you need cardio? Do you need to build muscle mass? And once we understand that, then we can say, hey, this is what's worked for me, or this is what's worked for someone on the team. Why don't you try this out?
Yep. So, this is going to be really individual. So all of you joined this call tonight for a specific reason, right? I know the people that I'm working with personally, there's a couple buckets that you all fall into. And I'm sure Juliet and Tracy, if you're on the call, because you have a relationship with them, I'm sure you fall into here somewhere. But to Tracy's point earlier and Juliet's, most people are past challengers. We actually find that it is very difficult to be a coach if you are not doing the programs, if you're not familiar with the products. And so to Juliet's point, yes, you're spending the $15 a month, but oftentimes one order pays for itself because you are using the products, right? And so you might be somebody who got really good results and you want to pay it forward. You might be somebody who loves their full-time job, but maybe feels like there's a void somewhere when it comes to purpose or passion. And I think passion's a really overused word, in my opinion. I think people say, oh, I just need something that I'm passionate about. Well, I don't have a fitness certification. I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, but I love helping other people be better versions of themselves. That's what I loved doing in the corporate environment. And so to be able to find something that has far more flexibility for me and where our family is right now, that can provide an income, but can also fill that piece of me that makes me wake up every day. That piece is really exciting. You might not love your job and want options. I remember that was something that Tracy shared with me long before I ever thought about leaving my job, that you never know. And it might be something where you want some options, or you might need a second stream of income for babysitting or bills or debt or, whatever you've got going on. Think about why, though, you'd want to coach. That has to be really top of mind all the time. And it evolves. My why, when I first started was I just wanted the discount on the shake that made me feel really good every day, right? And then it was, wait, I got these results. And now other people are asking me, to Tracy's point, how I did it. And there's women who have, at least in my opinion, women that were working, that had young kids at home, that felt they had no balance. And I was able to help them find that. And so it made sense for me to become a coach. And obviously over the years, it's evolved from there. So I think about now what this opportunity has been able to do for my family and my future. And that was not something I was thinking about 3 years ago. So I want you to be okay with whatever your why is right now. Even if it feels small, that's okay. I think all of us probably started in the same bucket. So that's something that you'll talk a lot with your coach about to make sure that you don't lose sight of that why. The cool thing is that the job requirements, we call them the vital behaviors for Beachbody. And the cool thing is, even though Tracy's my coach, she's not my boss, right? Tracy is there to give me direction and hold me accountable. If I'm feeling a little bit lost or I have these goals, I don't quite know how to get there, she helps with a roadmap. But it's up to me, as it would be up to all of you guys, to really be the ones to do the work. Now, the cool thing is, and Tracy alluded to this a little bit, but how we're set up is even though Tracy's my coach and has been doing this longer, I can make more money than her. And I'm trying to, Tracy. I can pass her in rank. There is no seniority thing here. Tracy can't just sit back and collect a paycheck on all of my work. So the great thing is, as Tracy mentioned earlier, our team is crushing it right now. And I'll leave that for Tracy to explain more about. But what's cool is that these vital behaviors, no matter how long you've been doing it, are critical. I'm going to start with the number 2 one here that says be proof the products work. So we've said this a couple times already in a short amount of time. It does not feel good to be inauthentic about what you're offering. And so for me to be able to, pretend I'm doing this workout, but meanwhile I'm spending, like hours on a trainer at the gym, like that's not authentic. And so we want you to do a program. We want you to consume one of our products, again, whether it's Shakeology or any of the others that we offer, so that you can attract, connect, and invite, which is the first vital behavior, and do it in a way that feels good, right? It doesn't feel right to just spam out, hey, this is what I do. How are you? Hey, girl, I haven't talked to you in 100 years, but this is what I do now, right? So it's about building rapport with people. It's about reconnecting with people in the past. And then if it makes sense to, reach out to them and tell them what you're doing and offer a solution if that presents itself. The recognition part's really cool. That's another vital behavior of ours. We get recognized by Beachbody and by our teams all the time. And if you've been in a challenge group with us, I hope that you have felt like you've been recognized as well. This job is not easy. This is work for sure. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, right? And what's cool is that those times where you feel like it might be difficult or you're not getting the traction that you want as quickly as you thought you would, the whole team is here for you to support you and help get you through that, because we've all been there. So that part is really, really cool. And there's a lot of support and recognition. And then the last part, which was really, really attractive to me, and I think a lot of women on this team, is that personal development is key. And this is not like Beachbody development. This is not like read this book about Beachbody products. Now, you may want to spend some time learning about our projects or our products. We encourage that. But this is like, go read a book about how to be a better parent, or how to be a better spouse, or how to be a better version of you, or to have more confidence, or run a business, or lead a team, right? Which, whether I was working with Beachbody or not, would still make me a better version of myself. And every time I'm working with a coach, I'm like, hey, what book are you reading? What podcast are you listening to? And I don't think any of us on this call have time to just sit and leisurely read. So for me, it was on my commute. It's while I'm blow drying my hair, putting makeup on. I've got, AirPods in or whatever. So to the fact that these are the 4 things that are required of us, like pretty selfishly, makes me better every day. And so the fact that that's what I have to do for work is awesome. So I wanted to make sure that we hit on the 4 vital behaviors. Yep. Juliet?
So I do want to say, because, and I know Elise is chuckling in the background too. So the personal development, I am not a reader. So when I was like, oh, go read a book, or I listen to books, but I was like, oh, what am I going to read? And some of the books that some of the other coaches, I was like, no, that's not doing it for me. I really have no idea, like, nope, I'm not happy with that. So the thing is, I've gotten really good at that. I'm really good at it now, because I started reading things about making your own business, how to be an entrepreneur, things that I was like, you know what, I feel pretty good in my parenting world, even though I probably should have sometime been reading a book about it, or I felt good about my confidence at the time. But about being an entrepreneur, I didn't know things about that. So I got to learn and really learn about different things of that, which I'm really glad, Alicia, that you touched on that, because and then there's other, so there's so many different things that you can read. So if you're sitting there thinking like, what am I going to read? There's so much out there that, as I said, like different podcasts, if you're more about doing shorter things. So that is a really cool thing. And it really has made me a better person, because I've learned really cool stuff that I wouldn't have known. Sorry, I had to.
You're good. Juliet, do you want to talk about some of the goals for your first month?
Yep. So as everyone has said, committing and completing a program. I cannot tell you how important it is. And even as a challenger, if you are just going through on demand and just picking, oh, today I feel like doing arms. I would have done arms every day. Do I feel like doing cardio? Do I feel like doing legs? No, not at all. Like, I really dread those things, but it's probably the things I need to do the most. So picking a program and going from each day and finishing it is so important, because you also, at the end of finishing that program, you feel so good. You're like, yes, I did it. I finished a goal. So again, reading one personal development book, that is something, again, that we can really, I mean, there's so many things that we can share with you. We can share with you audibles. There's stuff at your library that you can get for free and just add, but there's so many different levels of that we can help you with. And to become an Emerald coach. So Tracy's going to go a little bit more, but becoming an Emerald coach is basically having 2 people under you that are also using the product that love it. And that's going to set you up for making money, which is, exciting, and helping more people. And earning Success Club 5 or 10. So you'd be helping 3 people. That would pay for your home direct order, whatever it is. That's going to pay the commissions that you make, is going to pay for that. And then it's also going to be setting you up to become an Emerald coach and then to be making money down the road.
So Success Club is basically if there was a criteria, because a lot of people that come from a sales background are like, what are my goals? What do I have to do each month? There are no goals, because it's really about what you want to make of it. But what I say to any coach that I have that comes on that wants to make this a business, I say to that person, if you want to do this and make a business and feel successful and make a side income, you need to hit Success Club 5 at a minimum. And it has to be a mentality that's a non-negotiable every single month if you want to grow this. What does Success Club mean? There's 2 Success Club points that are given. Let me skip to the slide. Anytime you sell somebody what we call a challenge pack, so that is Beachbody On Demand plus Shakeology, it's worth 2 points. To Be Mindset plus Shakeology is 2 points. So if there's anyone on here that's not into fitness, but you love nutrition, you got to learn To Be Mindset, because it has been life-changing for people with emotional eating that they've had to overcome. So a challenge pack, again, like I said before, is when we're bundling fitness and our product of Shakeology or Daily Sunshine, or To Be Mindset plus Shakeology, right? So fitness, nutrition, challenge group. Shakeology alone, when you put it on HD, which means on auto ship, that's also worth 2 Success Club points. We always put things on auto ship for our customers. And it's not because we get the Success Club points and we do it that way, but it's because our customer gets $2 of shipping, opposed to a one-time $12 to $14 shipment, depending on what state they live in.
Even some up to 20.
Yeah, I think California's got some really crazy, same with Canada. So we always, like what I'll say to people is sometimes people get a little bit nervous if they've never tried it before, they don't want to be on auto ship. They will get an email from Beachbody 10 days beforehand, and I always put it in my calendar to follow up with someone. I never want them getting a second shipment without me having a conversation with them. Most of the time they're jumping in a challenge group with me, but if they're not, I always make it a point to be like, hey, this is going to be coming down the pipeline. How are we feeling? And it's my job to know ahead of time they're probably going to love it or they're not enjoying it, because I'm talking to them frequently, or at least on a weekly basis if they're not in a challenge group. So every time you sell a challenge pack or you get someone on Shakeology, HD, or the Performance Stack, it's worth 2 points. So when Juliet said 3 people, 3 times 2 is Success Club 6. That's your minimum. So you want to have a Success Club 5 attitude. Let me pop here for a second. So what does it mean to be an Emerald coach? So the reason that we say have a Success Club 5 mentality and also become an Emerald coach immediately is because when you become Emerald, which means having 2 coaches that you've signed up, one on your left leg and one on your right leg. And that's as far as we're going to go about talking about structure, because you'll get into that in training. When you're an Emerald coach, you're eligible for something called Team Cycle Bonus. And what that is that is how you get paid on residual income. So yes, you make commissions when you first sell things. Yes, you make commission when you sell someone a challenge pack. But what really builds wealth in this business is what's called Team Cycle Bonus. And this is how we talked about how our team helps our team. So Team Cycle Bonus is equivalent to volume. And the way that you grow volume is through coaches. Not every coach is a selling coach. My 70-year-old parents are both coaches. They're not sharing the business, but they drink Shakeology. They don't want to pay retail for it. And so they are both coaches. So those coaches, I'm not getting commission every time their Shakeology ships for them anymore. I'm now getting volume points, which then turns into Team Cycle Bonus. Here's the cool part. Like Alicia said, I'm not just sitting here like collecting an income and Team Cycle Bonus while I don't do any work. The cool thing is we're binary. So if your coach that brings you on is a sharing coach, guess what? You are going to get their volume. Every coach they bring on after you, you are going to get volume on all of those people, just as your coach is going to get volume on you. So when Alicia is doing well and I'm doing well, guess what? We both are sharing volume and we're both escalating our volume faster, which means we're both going to collect team cycle bonus faster. So it really does condone a teammanship where if Juliet has a problem and she needs help, there might be another girl on the team that helps her because they all know if they're helping each other and our team is growing, that's more volume for the whole team and we're all doing better. So it is so important that you become an Emerald coach so that you get yourself in a position and in a posture to start earning team cycle bonus. So there are weeks, and I'll tell you guys, like I'm 4.5 years into it, there's weeks I don't sell any challenge packs, but I get a great check because it's team cycle bonus, because it's the residual of the compound effect of all the challenge packs that have been sold since I've started for 4.5 years. The second thing that's really cool is that when you're an Emerald coach, you're eligible for free leads. So for example, if you guys know of Sean T, he was on the Today Show today. So he's talking about Transform 20 to Hoda and Kathy Lee. I don't even know who's on the Today Show anymore. I don't watch it, but he was on, and guess what's going to happen? There's going to be a ton of purchases for Transform 20 that go directly to the Beachbody site. And those people don't have a coach because they just were sitting at home drinking their coffee watching Sean T. Those people are going to get assigned a coach. So anybody who hit Success Club 5 or higher in last month, which was December, all of those people that are buying T20 are going to get assigned a coach that hits Success Club. So you get all of these people that need a coach once you become Emerald eligible for that, as long as you're hitting Success Club. So it goes back to having that Success Club mentality. Juliet, did I miss anything?
No, I was going to say but one thing I do want to point out is, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but the thing that's so great about this company is the products are so, I mean, they're so good. They don't add chemicals. They're so good for you. So when we're sharing this, when we're selling this, we're not going out and feeling icky because we're like, oh, this is not about, these products work. We know what they do because we've seen what they do for us. And then we've seen what they do for our clients. And first and foremost, that's why we all got into this business, to help other people feel as good as they're feeling. And it's so good to be able to be like, hey, you know what? When they get Shakeology products in, we know they're testing it for heavy metals. If there's heavy metals in there, they throw it out because it's a really organic company and they really are concerned about the way the world is and the food. So it's a really good feeling to be able to share that. I just wanted to add that in.
And we do have somebody who's at corporate. His job primarily is to basically check every consumable and make sure that where we're sourcing every single ingredient for all of our products is legit. So I'll give you a quick example. If you're someone who drinks Energize, or as I call go-go juice, not long ago they took the beet juice out and they put cane sugar in. And everyone was like, why did they do that? Why did they do that? It changed the flavor. Well, they found out they weren't able to verify that where the beet juice was coming from, they weren't able to verify if that was definitely GMO free or not. So they took the ingredient out instead of compromising what our products are. So you'll probably be asking, like, does it say we're GMO free? Does it say we're organic? No. Shakeology, for example, has 70 ingredients. And if it's going to be certified organic or certified gluten-free, every single farm in South America where we're getting our go-go beans and Wakala root would have to be certified as organic. So that's why
and they don't do that. And they don't do that in other countries because other countries
right. They farm differently than the States. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Okay. Rachel Hollis and Summit.
Okay. So this is so fun. So there is a huge convention in the summer where every coach, you don't have to be a certain rank. There are coaches that are 15-star. There are coaches that are just coaches that just signed up, and they go to what is called the summit. So we learn about all the new products that are coming down the pike. We get to work out with super trainers. So you get to work out. You get to meet your team. Oh, you got Girl Wash Your Face. Yep. So Rachel Hollis is she's just amazing. So the book Girl Wash Your Face, and she has all these podcasts. She is really cool. She started from nothing, and I'm not going to go into what she is, but she has built a business. Her husband was literally the one of the head distribution people for Disney. He quit his job to work with her. That's how well she is doing. And they just have a really great relationship. So she's going to be one of the key speakers. So not only do you get to work out with the super trainers, not only do you get to be with your team or, you know, with people that you talk to every day and work with every day and meet other people that are kind of like-minded, you also get trained in, so there's breakout sessions. So they're training coaches on how to run your business and how to become a better coach and how to become a better person. So she's one of the keynote speakers, and she's going to, you know, just talk to you. So when you're a new coach, you have an opportunity to earn a free ticket. And that is, as we've been talking about, if you hit Success Club 5 and above for 3 months straight, you get a free ticket. So you don't have to pay for your Beachbody, to your entrance fee. This is one of the ones, and maybe Trace, stop me if we're going to talk about it more, but there's many different trips. A lot of trips you can get all paid for. Like Alicia's going to be going to California. I went last year. It's all paid for. You get a swanky little hotel room, not little, a nice hotel room. You just pay for your airfare. We go on Success Club trips where we all go together, and that's all paid for. And that's because you're helping people. So it's like you're hitting Success Club, you're helping people, and you're getting these trips. So then you get to work out with Shanti. You get to, I mean, I've met him. We've met Tony Horton and Autumn Calabrese. I mean, it's just really fun. And everyone that's there are all people that just want to help other people. So it's a really cool vibe. I mean, I've taken my kids and they're like, I see your energy. All these people have that energy. It's so crazy. So it's really, really cool.
So one of the things go ahead, Trace, because I'm going to hop into the next section. Did you want to add something?
I was just going to say, for the guys on the call for Summit this year, they're actually doing a breakout for how men can target marketing in this business, because there's definitely a competitive advantage for being a male coach. I think there's under 1,000 coaches that are male, as well as couples. So for those of you, like my husband is not necessarily a selling coach. He works, down in, New York City, but there's things that he's doing on the back end that are helping my business grow 4.5 years into it. So pretty cool. There's a lot of coaches on our team that are bringing their spouses this year so that they can take their business to the next level and just have some additional support without their spouses being maybe like the front end of their Beachbody business, doing some things on the back end. Because as we've talked about running a business, there's marketing and finance and all that goes back in your back office. So Girl Wash Your Face is a great personal development book to read. Also, Rachel Hollis and her husband have a podcast called Rise, and they do it together. So that's also really cool to listen to, because they're both amazing entrepreneurs and they're just pretty inspirational.
So on the topic of Summit or these trips, et cetera, one of the things that I found, or that I was nervous about by leaving corporate America and being home full time, is like, I don't have coworkers. Like, I'm around little kids and I miss the adult interaction. And we do things like this all the time. We talk, we see each other as frequently as we can, but these trips, which I feel like there's something quarterly, and it's all voluntary, by the way. There's no mandated, like, you have to be here, which I used to have to do before. You obviously can come as often or as infrequently as you want, but the fact that you get to be around your coworkers, right, the people on your team in person, in the flesh, like, it does take a lot to leave your family and responsibilities and sometimes your full-time jobs behind for this. But we all can agree that we come back just feeling so filled and reinvigorated. Yeah. We just got back from Florida last week. That's actually where the picture of the three of us was taken. And it was equal parts. Actually, it was like this much Beachbody. And then the rest was just about like developing as women and as coaches and connecting, and super excited about that. So I want to be mindful of time. So I do want to run into the last couple slides here. So even though we have these online stores, I've actually never, in fact, sent one person to my online store. The great news is we've got this technology called Share a Cart. It's a shopping cart function. It's very easy, very user-friendly. You plug in the person's name. Trace, if you go back 2 slides, that's okay. So you plug in the person's name, their email, you go to the next slide, and you've already had a conversation with them to figure out what they want. Oftentimes it's a challenge pack, which is some sort of workout access or nutrition program access. In addition, there's a Shakeology or some other performance feature. And then if you go to the next slide, Tracy, an email gets sent right to them through the click of a button. I also usually copy the email and send it right to them. And when they log in and check out, there is like no confusion. They literally already know what it's going to cost. They go right to it, they check out, and they're good to go. So then once they have the access to the products, we bring them into a challenge group. So has everyone on the call been in a challenge group of some sort? Most have. I recognize some names here. You get to run challenge groups however you want. You can use Facebook, you can use the app. I've even heard people using like text chains, and that's all they do, right? The cool news is you don't have to do it alone. I still partner with other coaches. I'm running a group with Tracy 2 weeks from now, and we've been doing this for a long time. So it's really nice to partner with other coaches, but I've run solo groups. You can really do whatever you want. You can pick a specific program, you can mix it in, but again, people don't come to me for fitness advice, right? They don't come to me for nutrition advice. I mean, we do offer tips here and there, but they want accountability and they want a community, because when you're push and play at 5 a.m. solo in your basement, like you don't have the energy that you do in a group fitness class, but you might not be able to get to a group fitness class, which is obviously why we're around. And so the challenge groups are critical. Having one ongoing is going to be key for your business, and not only to keep existing customers engaged, but to continue to add new customers. And the great thing about on demand versus 2 years ago when it was all DVDs, you have access to program after program, and you can customize a workout calendar for an entire year for the people that you're working with, which has been awesome. So never get stale. Tracy, did you want to hop into this to close out, or did you want me to keep going?
I'll take it. So
okay.
We're closing up, guys. We always want to make this call like 45 minutes, and we'll leave a little bit of time for FAQ. But that's really it. I mean, that's all we're going to give you tonight, because it's like drinking out of a fire hose when you first start coaching, just like it is with any job, because you're like, you don't know where the coffee machine is. You don't know how to work the printer. You don't know like anything. And so it's very, very common. I think it maybe took me 6 months before I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I asked a question today. So, you might be thinking, okay, like what's next? Let it soak in, let it simmer for a little bit. Maybe you're that person that's like, I want to jump in. I know what I want. Tell your coach your goals. Like get on the phone, get on Voxer, get on Zoom, talk to your coach about your goals, and make them happen. Get a game plan, because you've got to have something that is tangible. If not, it just is a wish. It's just something that you're saying, it's a dream, and it doesn't really happen if you don't have a game plan. Make a list. So what I first did was I was having all these people ask me what I was doing. And so I was doing this coaching thing as I was losing my 35 pounds. I did not wait until I lost 35 pounds and then say, I want to coach. How boring would that be? How boring would it be if I basically got up and started losing weight and then went away from social media or didn't talk to anyone and then came back after I had this transformation? People want to see you working at it. And what's cool is that in the past 4.5 years, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've gained muscle, I've had injuries, right? And they are with me through the journey, and I just show them how I make it work. I snapped my calf muscle and couldn't work out for 2 months last spring. My challengers were with me during that, and there were other things that I could do. I had a really great core by the time it was done because I couldn't really use my legs. So you want to show your journey as you're coaching. So you don't have to be at your ideal body weight to start coaching. I still don't feel like I'm at my ideal body yet. I'm constantly working toward it. We have what's something called National Wake Up Calls every single Monday. They're on Facebook or a podcast. Your coach will tell you more about them. Don't skip them. Consider those as like one of your quote unquote business meetings that you don't miss. They are recorded. If you have something going on at 11 a.m. Eastern, all of our teachers or corporate girls or guys, they will listen to the recording later, but it's super important that you stay plugged in at least once a week. Be here in a year. So it's really exciting in the beginning. 3 months into it, it can either be really exciting or you could be like, I don't know if I'm good at this. You have to stick with it. One of the books that we're going to ask you to read is a Darren Hardy book called The Compound Effect. And he talks about the flywheel and how long it takes to get the flywheel spinning. And you've got to do the small things every day in order to get the big results. So make the commitment that if you're going to do it, you try it for a year, you give it what you got, you do what your coach tells you to do, because there's some pretty smart, savvy coaches on this team that are going to help you, and they've been in your shoes before. Be resourceful. Don't skip out on personal development, and you won't be able to, because our training forces personal development. So whether you like it or not, you're going to do some, and you're going to grow from it, which is pretty cool. Becoming an Emerald coach is a decision. Make Success Club no matter what. And honestly, be yourself, because that's who, if you are you and you're authentic about it, you're going to attract people that you would love to hang out with. And when you start to create a team of your own that is like you, and has the same goals and has the same mindset, it helps you raise your excellence, and you have fun because you're with people that you think are awesome. So that's it for the PowerPoint, but we did want to open it up in case there were any people who have questions. Anyone? Scott?
Okay, don't be shy. Ask questions.
Well, I'm not shy at all. Okay, I got 2 questions just because this is things people have asked me. If you sign someone up for the challenge pack, obviously there's a ton of products, and even now that I've been doing this for a while, I still don't know all the products. Are they able, once they get a challenge pack, to go through the website and look at stuff, or do you still not open that up at all?
I want one of you other girls to answer that.
Yeah, I'll answer it.
You might have to say it again. I don't know if I processed.
I got it, Juliet. You get the next one. So yeah, you actually, there's stuff featured. In fact, Beachbody's done a nice job, in my opinion, featuring other products upon checkout.
Yep.
Like, it's like, hey, you want to try these bars for 10% off? Like, I have had people, when they place an order, I'm like, it's for like $60 more. Why? Right. And they bought a 3-day refresh, or they decided to try the Energize, right? Or they ended up getting a sampler of the vegan Shakeology to try too. So yeah, they can go in, they can even delete the order we put in and then try other ones. And so I do like to say, hey, listen, when you check out, it's what's going to be in your cart is what we spoke about. However, feel free to look around, because there are a ton of products we haven't even scratched the surface on. There's workout gear, there's apparel, there's all sorts of stuff, you know.
Okay.
And it actually leads very well if you know that someone is planning on getting a lot of things. You could talk to them about enrolling as a coach right there, because it's the same price to do it, and they get a 25% discount on that order. So that's a great question. And that's not a bad thing, right? When they start looking at their products.
Because a lot of times the 3-day refresh, I have a lot of clients that will always add that to their cart. And I half of the time I don't even talk to them about it.
Thank you.
But you do get to see what they order as well. So that'll be nice, so that you can say, hey, I saw that you ordered a 3-day refresh. What are your plans for that, right? Because there's nothing worse than ordering products and not knowing how to use them, and then they go to waste, then it feels like a waste of money. So if you don't know, because you don't have experience with the refresh, that's a great question for Tracy, or for the coaches on our team to say, like Deanna, who's on the call, her and her husband have done the Ultimate Reset a couple times. I've been a coach for years and just did it this January. I'm asking her questions about what I should be eating, right? So you don't have to know everything. And I think people appreciate when you say, hey, you know what? I'm not sure, I haven't done that, but let me find out and get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you had 2 questions?
Yep. The second one is, and this is just kind of formality. I think I already know it, but I've got 2 or 3 people that want to sign up and do the auto ship. If they decide that they want to stop it, they get an email 10 days prior. Can they stop that, or do I physically go on to my managing account and stop that for them?
So, do you want to go, Trace?
No, go for it.
Okay. So I'm the type of person that if someone doesn't do it for me, like I like won't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So for my customers, I always did it for them. Or I have like an assistant that does it. However, I have coaches that have full-time jobs and they can't do that extra stuff. So they help their people know how to do it. Like they show them how to do it right away. So they don't ever have to do it. It really depends on you and your clients, and how they're going to feel. You don't want them to get backed up orders and then be pissed. Because then, you get a lot of referrals by really helping people. So I know I really hold my clients' hands, but I have the time to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Or I outsource it and I didn't outsource obviously when I first started. It was easy for me to do that right, in the beginning for them, just because I knew it was done. I knew they would feel good about it. And a lot of my clients are the same way. They just want me to hold their hand and really do everything for them.
Okay. Thank you.
One thing that will help you with, Scott, is like I'm big on not duplicating work over and over again. So like I will make a video and put it on my YouTube channel, how to stop your HG orders. And I make sure that it's like 2.5 minutes so that it's short, concise, and to the point. And that way, if someone really, like there's some people that don't want to give the last 4 digits of their credit card because I outsource it. My admin does it for me, but in the beginning, they didn't want to give it to me. So I would just shoot them, all right, fine, no problem. Here's 2.5 minutes. This shows you what to do. Watch it from your iPhone, do it from your desktop, boom, they can do it, easy. So it's really personal preference on how you want to run your business. But little things like that, like when someone's like, hey, how do I use Beachbody on demand? You'll make a video, we'll teach you how. You can use Zoom technology, put it on your YouTube channel, save all of your links, and you can send links to people so that you're not having to re-explain things over and over again so that your business runs concisely.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
The other thing, Scott, if you're in a position where you don't even feel comfortable making a video, there are so many coaches out there that have so much information that I just say, hey, this is a fellow coach, or, you know, this is like I sent a video of someone else walking through on demand for 2 years because it was good enough and never showed the face. And I was like, hey, this is how you use it. And no one ever complained about it. So that's what I was going to add, Tracy. Just you do it once, save it so you can access it quickly down the line.
Cool. Thank you.
What's the time commitment look like, especially in the beginning? I think that's probably the most overwhelming part for me.
So I can answer that because mine's evolved so much. I think it was 5 hours maybe when I first started. And I'd say like 5 hours outside of my own workout, I think is fair. A lot of what is involved is being engaged in a challenge group. And even as a challenger, you know what that's like, right? You check in with other people's comments. You know, you're a big encourager in our groups, Shayla. So that's a matter of just like, you know, I'm like in line at Target responding, or I'm at a stoplight, like, which is probably, I mean, I'm not driving, but maybe there's better things I could be doing at a stoplight. But you find these like pockets of time, and, you know, when you're busy, you seem to get more done because you're so disciplined with your time. But I do think it's important for you to have a plan going in to work. You can't just sit there and go, let me pull up Facebook or Instagram, because forget it. Like that hour that you have will go by in 2 seconds. So as long as you're mindful that what you put in will likely be what you get out, right? If you have 20, 25 hours to put in, which is what I do now, I'm getting more results than I did when I only had 5 hours. So that's a conversation for you and I to have, to say, okay, I only have 2 hours this whole week. What should I be doing with those 2 hours? And oftentimes it organically you're working, right? People are like, oh my God, you look amazing. What have you been doing? I'm doing this new program. It's awesome. I'm at home. Like you could sell a challenge pack that is counting as work. So sometimes it's like not as formal as office hours, but I do think when you're slammed busy, it's important to carve out dedicated time and be really intentional with those activities that you're doing. They have to be high value. Otherwise it'll feel like you're spending a lot of time and not getting any results.
Yeah. You just get organized with it. And I'm not like I'm organized in my own brain, but in other people's view in there, they're like, oh, that doesn't seem very organized. But trust me, it is. But when I have time, like I just, bam, like I'm sitting at a stoplight. I mean, it's not, you know, not the best, or I'm running into the store and I'm like, you know what, I have 5 minutes. I know I can get a couple of these questions answers or invites sent out, or, you know, put a post up. So you just have your running list and you get really good at it when you keep doing it. And in the beginning, you also, because I just had 2 new coaches start, and one that works on Wall Street, and she's like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. This is crazy. She's like, I literally have no time. And she's done it for 2 weeks. And I was like, seemed to find that time, didn't you? And she's like, oh, I did. Things just shift, you know?
Yeah. I watch less TV than I did before, right? It's not like you're adding hours into the day. You're just deciding what's important. And there are plenty of times where a coach on my team will say like, dude, like I got to just pause for December. It's just too crazy. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's talk in January. Right. So that's where there's no boss, there's no quota. But if you're like, I want to make $10,000 this year or $50,000 this year, but I'm only going to put 2 hours in a week, it's my obligation to say like, those goals don't align. Like the input is not going to get that output. But if you want the output, I got to show you how to put that in on the front end to make it happen. But like, that's a fair concern, Shayla. Like, it's like, where am I going to find time? I can't even find time right now. But there's something that made you want to hop on this call. And so I think for you, it's identifying like, what is that? And how much time do I want to dedicate to whatever that is? And then, you know, you go from there. So that's a good thing for you to think about. Like, what could this even look like? And it's going to be different for every person on this call.
Yep.
Any other questions before we wrap up? I think it's important that there is a follow-up conversation with whoever invited you to this call, because to Tracy's point, we just threw a lot at you, and we want you to sit with it and digest it and decide like, hey, here's all the reasons why this can't work. Here are some of the reasons why I think this could work. Like, let's talk through it. But like, Tracy asked me to be a coach probably 5 times before I said yes. And had I said yes any other time before that, I don't know that I'd be here right now. So it's really important that the timing makes sense for you. And please know there will be 0 hard feelings if now is not the time. But also know that we're probably going to ask you again. Because all of us feel, I mean, this now feels like a gift that has been brought into my life, that it is like selfish of me to not talk about it and offer it to other people, but not in a overwhelming, cheesy, again, inauthentic way. Like, that stuff does not work for any of us on this team. And it won't feel good for you. So please, like, don't be afraid to be honest about what you're feeling, where you're concerned, because we'll be super honest with you.
Right. And I was just going to say, Alicia, I asked her 5 times, and if it was a gross, yucky, salesy way, she wouldn't be on the call. So we also will teach you that it's relationship. Christina is on her treadmill. I think I've asked her 9 times to be a coach. I'm like, please don't make me keep asking you.
I think I did too. I think I might have asked her.
Like, and it doesn't matter. Christina can just sign on with whoever. We just know she'd be great as a coach. And literally, we all started putting in 2 to 3 hours a week. We all started that way, and it all evolved for us because you make time for what you prioritize
and what you love.
Yeah, and for what you love. And anytime I wanted to throw in the towel, I'm like, okay, so if I'm not a coach anymore, I don't put an emphasis on my nutrition like I do. I don't put an emphasis on my exercise. I'm not doing personal development, so I'm not growing as a leader. So if I quit coaching, I basically lose all the things that are giving me an edge for my family right now, right? Because my excellence is being raised all the time, and I'm being surrounded by women that are like, or men that are like, let's do it. Let's make some things happen, right? And when you're surrounded by that, you level up, you know? So that's just a really good way, I think, to end the call, is that, you know, you guys need to be considering if this team is going to work for you, just like we have asked you to be on this call because we see something in you. It's got to be a mutual, like, I think we're going to do well together, because even though we all live in different places, we talk a lot.
We do. I want to say one thing. When Tracy's talking about the free leads and stuff, I have to say Dylan, who's sitting on the call, was a free lead. So he was a free coach lead. He was like, I want to be a better person and I want to sign up for this, but he didn't know any other coaches, and he happened to be put on our team, which is very, very cool. Like, very cool.
And his dad lost like 100 pounds on P90X, right? Dylan.
I think he's frozen.
Oh.
I want to answer. Yeah, go ahead. You can talk?
He's muted, so.
Oh, he is muted.
Yeah.
Can you unmute him, Trace, or no?
He's unmuted.
There he is.
Oh.
Yeah, he lost 100 pounds about 10 years ago. He was a mailman, and his weight almost 300 pounds, and after 9 days, he weighed 189.
Amazing. That's so awesome.
And when Dylan was like 10 years old. So he like saw his dad do this and then decided, you know what, I think I want to do this, which is like, just, it's a very cool thing.
Love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to sit with us. Hopefully you got something good out of this, a good nugget, something to sit and think about. Talk to your coach. We love what we do.
We do.
Yeah. So we love seeing you guys on the call, and we will see you another time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.